Hey, what's up you guys? Blackwing K here, and welcome to a video that I never really thought I'd have to make. But unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where it's finally happened. You know, it's finally happened. It's censorship. Essentially, it is censorship. So, what happened? What happened that I have to talk about so much right now? So it's about Senran Kagura, and I'm pretty sure you all know by now, all us lovers of ecchi and all things sexy. Don't think I forgot about that. Senran Kagura got hit with the biggest censorship since... Honestly, I don't know. I don't usually follow the news too much that well, but this, when it reached me, I felt it. I felt it. Now, I know I might be talking about this a little too late, since this news is about a week old now? Yeah, like 5 days. 5 days is still too long, but I waited. I waited for the heat to die down a bit so that we can talk about this. So, Senran Kagura was hit with censorship. Yeah. I mean, you know, Senran Kagura has been around since the 3D days, the Nintendo 3DS, with Senran Kagura Burst, and then it was Senran Kagura 2 Deep Crimson, and then we transitioned over to the PS Vita with Shinobi Versus, I think, as I'm kind of recalling the games as they come out, and then it was Estival Versus on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita, and then we got Peach Beach Splash for the PlayStation 4, and all these games actually also came out on the PC, Windows PC on Steam, so you can actually get those games. Oh, there was Bon Appetit as well. I haven't played that game yet, which is why it escaped me. And there's other iterations of the games as well, New Wave and Shinobi New Link, Shinobi Master New Link, or one other thing. I'm trying not to get confused with the anime. So this franchise has been hit with censorship, but only in the West, and only for PlayStation 4. So how about I just throw in the article so you can actually see what I'm talking about. And it, you know, we have to take this with a grain of salt, guys, okay? I know a lot of people have already been upset and thrown a bit of a rage here. So let me pull it up right here. Alright, so you guys can probably see it right now. I hope. I don't know how I'm recording and doing this at the same time, but I hope it all works out well when I do, you know, what I do. So here it is. Senran Kagura Burst Renewal delayed in the West to remove intimacy mode from the PlayStation 4 version. This broke a lot of hearts of the fandom, especially here in the West. We love our Senran Kagura, and Senran Kagura has been a game that's really not been touched for a long time, as it's been around. But only now has it finally been affected by a form of censorship. And this is a pretty big one. Although I haven't really used intimacy mode too much in the previous games, I'm glad it was there, and I'm glad it was a thing where we could actually experience, you know, getting up close and personal to the girls and whatnot. Alright, let's move on. Let's move on. We respect the wishes of the platform holder, says publisher. So let me go off and read this to you. Xseed Games has delayed the launch of Senran Kagura Burst Renewal in North America and Europe. So Europe also got hit with this censorship. Look at that. From its previously planned fall release window in order to remove the intimacy mode from the PlayStation 4 version at the request of Sony Interactive Entertainment. The company said in a statement, while the mode will remain in the PC version, both versions are being delayed. The release of Senran Kagura Burst Renewal will be slightly delayed as we remaster to remove the interactive intimacy mode from the PlayStation 4 version, Xseed Games said in a tweet. The Steam version will release with that mode intact and will launch simultaneously with the PlayStation 4. We are looking forward to sharing the release date shortly and appreciate your patience. Alright, so that's just a bit of it. I'm going to continue in a second, but just from reading that bit, I mean, a lot of people are furious. Of course, as soon as the news came out, a lot of people are furious. A lot of people have been furious at this company, Xseed and Marvelous. A lot of people have been furious at Sony, of course, the head honcho, who said that, hey, that we can touch these girls? No way. Let's not have it. We had in those other games, maybe something happened in the company where they needed this censorship to happen. Like, I don't know what kind of heat Sony is in that they needed this change to happen in this particular game. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like I said, I don't really follow the gaming news like that. I'm not a gaming news channel, but when it's related to something that I like, something that is, of course, of interest to me, then I'm going to talk about it. So a lot of people are already throwing out comparisons like The Last of Us 2, how it has a scene with the girl chopping off a head of some dudes. Like, oh, this can stay in the game, but we can't fondle girls. The scale is different. I'm wording that wrong, but you know, I get where you're coming from with that argument, but it's a little different. Sure, one game is a AAA title, and the other is more of a niche gamer title. So why is the lesser known game being hit so hard, while a AAA game, which is going to sell millions, billions everywhere, is not being affected by this, where it's going to make a bigger impact on an audience? Honestly, I couldn't tell you, really. Like, I'm not a game developer. I don't run a company. So these are things that they have to think about why they made that decision. Why a game like this had to be cut. Maybe Sony is making a big change in terms of censorship where future titles are no longer going to allow, you know, sexual themes like that. Because, you know, you have to admit, intimacy mode in the Senran Kagura games, it's heavily sexually based. Like, you know, it's a sexual theme in a game. You can grope the breasts of the girls, and you can basically slap their ass. You can basically, in the Peach Splash, you can shoot water at them, change the color of the water to make it look like you're shooting something else in their face. You see what I'm going with this? And you can kiss the girls, and you know, there's probably the PC mods as well where they can appear fully nude and whatnot with actual you know, the body parts actually showing what's underneath the bra and panties. You know, the games don't do that in the consoles, but you can mod the PC version to actually have the goodies show, the true goodies show. You know what I mean? But yeah, so you really can't compare sex with violence and gore, and you know, because gore, violence and everything, we see that all the time in movies, we see that all the time in TV shows, we see that all the time basically advertised. Look at The Walking Dead. It's basically about a show about people killing either zombies or each other. And then we have other shows out there. You know, I just made that example because I've recently been watching it. Can't come up with other examples at the moment. But yeah, when have you seen a full-blown sex scene on The Walking Dead? Like, there might be some shows out there which has shown it, but look, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I understand. Look, I'm a big lover of Senran Kagura. Honestly, I am. And when I found out about this news, it hurt. You know, I pre-ordered the game on Amazon way back then when it was finally announced for the fall of 2018 for Burst Renewal to come out. Immediately went on Amazon and pre-ordered. I don't care if my bank account was in the dumps. I needed to pre-order that game, and so I did. So what was the response of a lot of the fandom? You can pretty much guess what happened. A lot of people canceled their pre-orders for the PlayStation 4 version. You know, and I guess people are gonna buy it on the PC. But here is where I'm gonna put my foot in. You know, I waited long to talk about this, but this was the first thing I thought about too. I have to admit, I thought about canceling my pre-order for the PlayStation 4 as well. But then, you know, I went to work, I slept, I worked out. I did my thing, you know, my daily routine of what I've been doing. I had to sit down and let that sink in to think about it. So if we cancel our pre-orders, we're not really hurting Sony, because Sony is going to make their money regardless. People buying the PlayStation 4 Pro, we have a lot of good games coming out towards the end of the year, next year, and so on. So Sony, you know, they're not going to lose any of this. The one who will lose is Xseed. Marvelous. If you guys cancel your pre-orders, you're really hurting the developers themselves. They've already been inflicted with a decision so heavy as to remove a mode that has been pretty much since Shinobi Versus. I mean, I can probably go to Shinobi. Oh no, I don't think Shinobi Versus really had the intimacy mode. I think it was S2 Versus where you could actually finally play with the girls in a special room and whatnot, and make them your own, claim your waifu, kiss your waifu, fondle your waifu, you know, and all that good stuff. So it's been around for like 2 years now, so now Sony decided that they didn't want that in a game that's going to be on their console, for reasons we really don't know, unless maybe if I keep reading and I'll find something before I continue, which I think I did see something that they're gonna say, so but I was basically just trying to talk about what's been happening in the community ever since this release, that people been canceling pre-orders. And I wish that the people wouldn't cancel their pre-orders as to not really hurt the company too much. Sure, your claim might be that, yeah, I'm not going to give Sony the money, I'll just do PC. But a lot of people are also saying that their PCs are not strong enough to run a game like this. So that's another problem. But yes, what I'm going to say is, and I'm going to stand by that, don't cancel your pre-order if you haven't done so already, because 5 days later, that's it, the wave, we all drowned in the news. So if you haven't canceled your pre-order yet, don't do that. Just keep it. I'm gonna keep the game. Maybe I'll open it as well, but I'm gonna keep it in its box the best I can, just to support the company I love so much that brings us these awesome titles. Senran Kagura is not the only thing I love by Xseed and Marvelous. There's other game titles out there, so I want to support the company the best I can. So what I did was I didn't even touch the pre-order. When I heard about that, I thought about doing that, but like I said, too much was happening in my life at that moment, so being bombarded by this news, it affected me, but I decided to just let it. I'm like, you know what? Let me keep my pre-order because I'm thinking about the company, like I said. So yeah, if you canceled your pre-order, I wish you hadn't done that, but you're hurting the company. Because some people might not be able to get it for the PC, and your only way to play it is either getting the import from Japan or, getting it when it releases in the West. Whenever they release the release date. Anyway, let's go back to that little small article. It was a tweet that they made, but I'm on Gematsu right now, reading to you the article. So where were we? We were right here. In a follow-up tweet, the company stated, "We respect the wishes of the platform holder." The platform holder in this case is Sony Interactive Entertainment. Xseed Games localization producer Tom Lipschultz said in a tweet that while previous entries in the series allowed this mode for the Western release, the removal for this game is due to a brand new policy from Sony. Lipschultz added he believes it's the interactivity in general that's the issue. Did you read that correctly? Did you hear that? It's the interactivity in general that's the issue. Unrelated, but also of note, the official Twitter account for ToeJam and Earl, Back in the Groove, responded to Xseed Games' tweet saying, "Same thing happened to us," but did not elaborate. Really? ToeJam and Earl, Back in the Groove. I should look that up. I'm not too familiar with that one. But yeah, let's continue. This is not the first time Sony Interactive Entertainment has affected the release of a game on its platform in the West. The Western release of Omega Labyrinth C, a game with several erotic elements involving young girls, was cancelled by publisher P-Cube. P-Cube, I guess you would say that. With several erotic, to comply with the wishes of the platform holder. So yeah, I'm going to show you the tweet anyway right now, even though we just read the article on Gematsu about this situation. So here it is, Xseed Games. The release of Senran Kagura Burst Renewal will be slightly delayed as we remaster to remove the interactive intimacy mode from the PS4 version. The Steam version will release with that mode intact and will launch simultaneously with PlayStation 4. We are looking forward to sharing the release date shortly and appreciate your patience. It's basically the same thing, but I'm actually showing you the tweet that was made 5 days ago. It was in the evening too, so that day I was at work. I was probably sleeping at that time. So, yeah, that's why I didn't get it immediately, but I got it in the morning. And, oh man. But again, I would like to say that a lot of people, they're upset, of course. And when we're upset, we say a lot of mean things. We're angry. We want to release that anger. So, like I said earlier, people were comparing games, and a lot of the popular ones too. Oh, we can have Call of Duty, we can have Doom, we can have XYZ, but we can't have titties. That's the thing. And like I was saying earlier as well, in media, a lot of things are accepted where we see a lot of gore and violence, but sex... Nah, we don't really get a lot of sex, and this game is sexual theme based, so I'm guessing that's where the new policy is coming from with Sony, so it was a good thing that I read it all before I continued, even though I probably said too much before I finished off that article of what they were saying. I did have some more tweets that I saw, but it was basically like the follow-up that Tom Lipschultz wrote. You know, he said, oh, because this is a brand new policy. So people are basically saying screw Sony, and you know, lately, I don't know, something strange has been happening, like, you know, with the whole Omega Labyrinth Z that's been oh man, I just saw a funny picture down here with, look at that, look at that, oh my god. You have Goku saying no to that because it leads to prison, but he's saying yes to groping females in games because it just leads to a happy gamer and no jail time. So yeah, Sony wants to take that away from us. But yeah, like another comment further down says, at least it is uncensored on Steam and we can enjoy the full game on Steam. So yeah, if you didn't get what I was saying from earlier, is that I'm gonna buy the Steam version as well. I'm leaving my pre-order intact and buying the Steam version as well, as to better support this company. So if you guys can do the same, please do the same. If you want to enjoy the full game in its full glory, just get the Steam edition. And if you guys had pre-ordered it on PlayStation 4, didn't touch your pre-order, and you didn't really care about the intimacy mode, like honestly, like if you seen me play the games, like in my personal time, I barely touched that. Like all I was doing was grinding, leveling up, and doing some online games when people were booming in the online days. That's what we would do. But honestly, the intimacy mode, like I want to be 100% honest with you, I didn't really do too much. It was fun to show it off on stream and, you know, play with the girls, listen to the reactions and what they do and whatnot. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, but let's be honest here, I really, you know, didn't really pay too much attention to it. Now that they're removing it from the PlayStation 4, now I'm feeling like, oh man, oh well, I mean, you know, I'm upset. I'm upset. There is no other genuine reaction I can give to you guys regarding that, but I'm genuinely upset, and I feel for the company to have made that decision. And I hope for the best for them in the future, that they don't get greatly affected as well, because this is a form of censorship. And I hope that in the future they don't have to cancel a game because it's too erotic for them, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying this for the future of Senran Kagura on the PlayStation platform. If so, the company should consider just moving back to Nintendo, because that's really where they started. The Nintendo DS, 3DS, Senran Kagura Burst, Senran Kagura Deep Crimson, you know, that's where they came from. So we got Reflections on the Switch. You're doing the same thing on the Switch, and the Switch totally allowed it. Like, oh, boobies on a Nintendo game? Yeah, sure, whatever, have fun. Have fun. So that's maybe a route that Xseed can consider for the future of Senran Kagura, just having more Nintendo Switch games. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video, guys. Thank you for listening, and you know, It's sad. It's sad that we're getting hit hard by censorship, and even Europe as well. That I thought Europe wouldn't get hit by that, but I thought wrong. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, and let's see what happens in the future for Senran Kagura. Alright? It's Blackwing K, and I'm out of here. See you in the next video.